Hello, good afternoon. This is David Sutter talking to you, and today is my weekly trade predictions for the upcoming trading week of May 3rd through May 7th, 2021. Okay, and what I like to do right here is I like to look at all the major Forex currency pairs, okay, on a 30-minute time frame. And I do this just so we can see, look at what happened this past week, right, initially, and then I will compare that to higher time frames, such as the 4-hour daily and weekly, so we can see long-term what's going to happen in the Forex market, and then we can compare that, and I will try to give you my analysis of what I think is going to happen this coming week. Okay, so to begin with right here, okay, I'm going to look at EURUSD, and we see that EURUSD is pretty much moving in a sideways fashion. We call this a flat ranging market, and this is pretty much the case overall amongst most currency pairs. Okay, now this means there is a lot of instability in the market. Okay, a lot of fight between the bulls and the bears, going up and down, and that's good and bad. Generally speaking, this indicates there's about to be a reversal in the market. Okay, also this is good because if you keep on a smaller time frame, such as a 15-minute chart or even a 30-minute chart, you can trade from arrow to arrow. As you see here, you can sell, close the trade, buy, close the trade, and repeat that process. Unfortunately, that's not going to last forever. Okay, eventually we're going to have uptrends, we're going to have downtrends, etc. Right? But when it's moving sideways, it is a good time to trade for sure. And you're only going to be able to catch small, small pips up and down. But overall, in the long term, you catch a lot of profit because it all adds up. So what's going to happen here? Okay, so right now we're, like I said, it's moving sideways. Now, if we look at the higher time frames, the 4-hour chart shows to drop. So this is good, and we've had this big hike up here the last few weeks. Okay, pretty much the last month, and now it's finally starting to go back down. I honestly, the month of April, I did not think this would climb so high, but it did. But it's okay because now it's definitely getting ready to drop. If you look at the daily chart, we see something a little confusing though. It looks like has not hit a strong resistance. We did not see a red arrow here. Okay, so yes, it's going to be dropping right now. Problem is there's no red arrow on the daily chart, but the weekly chart, however, shows to be dropping. So what's going to happen, I'm not 100% sure. Okay, I'm kind of worried that there's no red arrow on the daily chart. Why it did not form a red arrow here, I don't know, but the next level of resistance is right there. Okay, now I said in a previous video that I do not think it's going to go that high. It could definitely go that high, but what I think is going to happen, and this is just based on what I've seen in the past, we don't always know the future, but we have, if I bring this horizontal line down to right here, okay, on this resistance, okay, that's already a strong resistance. It's already dropping. We see that on the 4-hour chart. What I think could happen this week is that it'll go back up again. It's dropping right this very moment, but it could retrace and go back up again and touch this. If it touches again, then it will most certainly form a red arrow on the daily chart. Okay, now the weekly chart already shows to drop, so like I said, it could go a little bit higher, like right there, slightly higher, because you see the resistance right here, okay, on this candle. So we don't know. All right, but either way, it's it's going to be dropping this week, and if you want, you could put a sell limit pin and order up here just in case it goes that high to try and catch the movement down. Right now, I would not sell. If you look at the 30-minute chart, okay, it's showing to buy. So for all intents and purposes, I would wait until you get a sell signal. okay, and then place your sell trade, okay, on the 30-minute chart. Even the 1 hour chart, I think, yes, 1 hour chart shows the buy. So I know I would probably wait till the 30-minute chart, even 1 hour chart, wait till you have a sell signal and then sell. Reason being is because, you know, we look at the bigger time frames, the weekly, you know, daily and weekly, and see which way the market is going. Now, the daily chart does not have a red arrow. Okay, that is the big problem right now. My back's itching. That's the big problem right now. Okay, I want to see a red arrow on the daily chart. Okay, but anyhow, it's definitely looking like it's going to be dropping long term. Okay, we had this big hike up for the last month. Now it's definitely getting ready to reverse. So I would keep the charts on the 30-minute time frame and look for sell opportunities only. Okay, you can both buy and sell, but for me, I would look for sell opportunities only, just to make it simple. Okay, moving on to GBPUSD. Okay, we pretty much see the same type of activity here. Okay, we see a flat range of market. It's all moving sideways, and that, again, that indicates another reversal. It should be getting ready to drop long term. If we look at the 4 hour chart here, let's see. Okay, 4 hour chart shows the drop, you know, it shows a red arrow for sure, no blue arrow. So it looks like it's going to be dropping, although, you know, we had this big drop here. It broke a support right here. If I mark this support line, okay, the price had come down and formed a support right here. It broke, so that means long term is going to drop even more. What's going to happen this week? Well, if we look at the daily chart, it shows to drop, and the weekly chart does as well. So we can definitely be thinking it's going to be dropping more. But if you look at the smaller time frames, they show to buy, right? So, and we see right here, if you zoom in on the 30-minute time frame, you see that where this support line I drew is already broken, right? So even though you have a blue arrow here on a 30-minute time frame, it can still drop even more. 1 hour shows the buy, 4 hours shows the sell. So I would definitely be thinking it's going to drop more. What I think is going to happen, because it has a big drop right here. What I think is going to happen, though, is we're going to see more of a range of market. Okay, maybe with a slight decrease. The price probably will end lower than where it began. But you see here, look at this. The past generally repeats itself. Okay, we have a big drop right here. Okay, and then we have another almost flat range of market and another little slight uptrend. Okay, and this was just this past week. Okay, actually the last 2 weeks, but this past week the price shot up and then back down again. Okay, so really, for all intents and purposes, we had 1 week period right here where it was going to retrace back up and then shot back down again. So we could have another 1 week period where the price goes back up some and then goes down again. Okay, very likely. This is just based on what we saw previously. Big drop followed by a small gain by another big drop. Okay, it could drop a little bit more in the beginning on Monday and then slowly go back up for the remainder of the week. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm thinking is going to happen this week. Okay, the daily chart shows the sell, weekly chart shows the sell, so we know long term is going to drop. But for this week, however, yes, it probably will be getting up mostly flat range of market, but if to be safe, I would look for sell opportunities only. Okay, using a 30-minute time frame, and I say that because the bigger time frames are showing to drop. So keep your charts on a 30-minute time frame and wait for the red arrow, and then place your trade. Close it on the opposite blue arrow. Okay, that's going to be your safest bet. So like right now, it shows the buy, so it might not show a signal to sell for a couple of days. Okay, it might be Tuesday, Wednesday where you see a signal to sell. So please be patient. Okay, yes, you can both buy and sell. That's not a problem, but to be 100% safe, I would sell only, just because that's the bigger trend. Moving on to AUDUSD, we see a similar pattern, more or less in a flat range of market here. The price ended slightly lower than where it began, which is kind of a sign that yes, this will be dropping. If you look at the 4-hour chart, we see that it is definitely getting ready to drop. So, you know, we had this not huge gain, but we definitely had a gain uphill. Now it's getting ready to drop again. If you look at the daily chart, yes, it's showing definitely it wants to drop, and the weekly as well. Okay, so it's been showing this for quite some time. Australian dollar is a strong currency. Okay, it's not going to go down without a fight. So do not expect, you know, huge drops. We see right now the price dropped, hit this support here. I'm going to mark this support right here. Okay, that support level right there, that's a strong support. We're looking for that to break this week. I feel very confident because now we have a red arrow here on the 4-hour chart. So I feel very strongly that this will break and be dropping. Okay, so you could put a sell stop pennant order just below here. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And daily, weekly. Okay, so yes, so anyhow, all right, so okay, what should we do? Again, I think I would look for sell opportunities only. Okay, it's a tough call. Right now shows the buy. I think this currency pair, we're probably going to see more of a flat range of market. Okay, I'm looking for it to break the support, like I said, but God damn, man, you got me here. I would probably say look for sell opportunities only, just because all the bigger time frames show the sell. But I know the Australian dollar is a strong currency. It's kind of like it's eating my brain right now. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say both buy and sell, because it's more or less, I think it's going to be in a flat range of market. Okay, I don't think we're going to see any big downtrends with this particular currency pair, because I know both of these, the Australian dollar is very strong, and the US dollar is strong also, but it's been weakened so much and it's kind of frail right now. So I think the US dollar, I mean the Australian dollar, is going to rebound and go back up, honestly, but it's not going to be a huge gain. Like I said, probably going to be more of a flat range of market. So you should be able to both buy and sell using the 30-minute time frame. Right now on the 30-minute chart, it shows to buy. So do not buy right this minute. Okay, I would wait until at least the London session or so on Monday. Okay, before you place any trades, just to see what the market is doing, because it could drop more. Right, this is a very, very fresh signal, and you need to wait, you know, several hours before you want to even think about placing a trade. So yes, you can both buy and sell using a 30-minute time frame. Moving on to USDCHF. Okay, here again we see more of a flat range of market with a slight drop, I guess, but the price ended pretty much exactly where it began. Okay, so we had the high formed, a low formed. That's nice. This is actually a good time to trade on the 15-minute or even 30-minute chart. You know, when you have a flat range of market, like I said already, that this generally indicates a reversal. Okay, for the US dollar, it should be going back up. The US dollar has been dropping for the last several weeks, and it's definitely getting ready to go back up now. If you look at the 4-hour chart, look at this. We have this big drop. Okay, for the whole month of April. Okay, which is kind of shocking because April had a better than expected job report. Okay, so if you remember back at non-farm payroll, it was showing that the U.S. economy was starting to recover bits and pieces. Okay, now this coming Friday is the non-farm payroll again, so we're going to see what's going to happen for the month of May. We don't know, but looking like things are going to be starting getting better for the US dollar. We look at the daily chart. Okay, this is the only thing that kind of disturbs me slightly is that there's no blue arrow on the daily chart. Okay, but I think it's going to be going back up because it has such a big drop. It's time for it to go back up. We can mark this support right here. Okay, that's the support right there, but there's no blue arrow. Okay, it could drop again and form a blue arrow there, which is most likely what will happen. If not, it will drop this far. I don't think it will, but it could. It's not that much further. It's already dropped this far. Then why not drop a little bit further, right? Like you said, you look at the 1 hour chart, it shows the buy, and it's definitely going up right now. Look at the 4 hour chart, same scenario. So as it's looking right now, it's a good time to buy, but we know that on the 1 hour, even 4 hour chart, it could repaint and drop further. Okay, it's always very possible. So what should you do? Well, you could put a buy limit pin order down here by this green line. Okay, if you get back to the daily chart where I marked right here on this high point, you could actually put a buy limit just like in case it drops that far, and then catch those pips on the way back up. Long term is definitely going to be going back up. Okay, the weekly chart shows the buy. Okay, so we know there's no way it's going to drop all the way back down here to where this previous blue arrow is, but we're already at a point where it's getting ready to reverse. If you look right here on the weekly chart, this is interesting. We see what's called a doji candle. Okay, it makes like a perfect cross. Okay, I'm not good at drawing, but that doji candle is a very strong indicator there's going to be a reversal. Now I'm trying to look in the past right here to show you an example. There's kind of a doji candle right here. The price did drop a little bit more, but then reversed back up. Like you kind of see a doji candle here, and it finally had a reversal. So yes, that's a pretty good doji candle right there. But it could drop a little bit more, and then finally go back up. You know, it had a doji candle, dropped a little bit more, and finally went back up. Had a doji candle, dropped a little bit more, and went back up. So the same thing could happen here. I'm just trying to look in the past. Right here on this candle, there's a doji candle. Oh, not perfect, but almost perfect doji candle, and it dropped a little bit more and went back up. Okay, so history kind of repeats itself in that aspect, and I'm thinking that's what will happen here. It could drop a little bit more and then go back up. Okay, so what should we do this week? Okay, we know long term is going to be going up. 30-minute chart right now shows to sell. Okay, so like I was saying a minute ago, the 4 hour chart shows to buy, 30 minutes shows to sell. So I think it's going to drop back down again. Okay, 1 hour shows to buy. Look at this, 30-minute sell, 15-minute sell. So it's going to have a pullback. It's going to jump back down and then go back up again. So I would definitely wait until at least the New York session on Monday before placing any trades. But what we need to do is keep your charts on a 30-minute time frame and look for buy opportunities only. Okay, because the bigger trend is bullish. It's going to be going up. Okay, now I know the past few weeks it's been dropping, but now is the time to buy once again. Okay, moving on to US dollar versus Japanese yen. Okay, this one we definitely see a gain. All right, we definitely see an uptrend developing here. Now it's kind of plateaued out right now on the 30-minute chart, but if we look at the 4 hour chart, it's not finished going up yet. Okay, 30 minutes shows to sell, 1 hour shows to sell, but 4 hours shows the buy, which is good. So that means it's probably going to drop back down in the beginning of the week, Monday going to Tuesday, and then by Wednesday it will shoot back up again. Okay, daily chart shows to sell, and weekly chart shows to buy. All right, so long term is going to be going up. Okay, now just like we saw a minute ago, problem here is there's no blue arrow on the daily chart. Okay, and if I mark this support right here, okay, that's what we always need to look at. We don't always have arrows on every time frame marking our supports and resistances, but again, this right here is definitely a support. Now what could happen on Monday? We could drop down to a 30-minute time frame. The price could drop all the way down here and form a red arrow. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. But it has such a gain here that I just don't think that's going to happen. Okay, and now I'm looking in the past here. See if any repeats, you know. Repeats in the daily. Yeah, right here. There's 2 red arrows in a row. Okay, so that could happen. Your red arrow followed by a higher red arrow. Red arrow followed by higher red arrow. I don't know. It does not seem likely, but it is very possible that that could happen. Okay, so I don't know. I am definitely not a fortune teller. If I was, I'd be a gazillionaire, but right now it looks like a good time to buy. Okay, definitely looks like a good time to buy. The weekly chart wants to buy. Look at this weekly chart, man. Crazy. We had 3 blue arrows in a row. That is unheard of. Okay, that is like never seen before. But we need a red arrow to form on the weekly chart. That's going to take some time, man. It's going to take months, if not another year. I don't know. So I think we're going to see a lot of range in markets this week. I have a funny feeling about that. Okay, and we're looking for a blue arrow to form on the daily chart. So will you see another red arrow next? You know, will the next arrow be a red arrow even higher? I don't think so. Okay, it's happened before in the past, but I just don't see that happening. It could. I think the price will drop back down. It might take a couple weeks, but the price will drop back down to this point, maybe lower. But if it drops lower, it'll probably be right about here, which is slightly lower. You see a resistance here. Probably drop right in there and then form another blue arrow on the daily chart. But that's not going to. That's going to take some time, another week or two, for that to happen. All right. And so what's going to happen? 1 hour shows the sell, 30 minutes shows the sell, 4 hours shows the buy. So I think we're going to see mostly range in market this week. Okay, with a slight increase because the 4 hour has not formed a red arrow. I think it's going to be gaining. I really think it's going to be gaining. I don't know. I think most of this week we're going to see it gain. The price, you're going to see more range of market with slight like this going uphill, and then it's going to peak out this Friday somewhere. There's a resistance right here. It may not go quite that high, maybe like right here. Okay, that's what we're looking for this. So you see right here, it's already going down, up, down, up, down, up, like that. It's going to continue that pattern, and it's going to hit a resistance somewhere right in here. Boom. And then next week we're going to see it drop back down, and then probably going in towards the latter half of May we'll see it drop back down again. I don't know. Form another red arrow, I mean blue arrow on the daily chart. That's what we're looking for. This blue arrow on the daily chart. It's going to take some time to develop because it hasn't formed yet. Okay, so like right now, we're going to see like I said, we're going to see the price go up and down this week, and then next week we'll see it drop back down, and then probably the following week drop even further, and then probably going towards the end of the month, end of May, we'll see another blue arrow form on the daily chart. Okay, so that's what's going to happen long term. Now, what's going to happen? What do we need to do this week? Should we buy and sell? Yeah, I think it's safe to both buy and sell using a 30-minute time frame, because the price is going to be slowly going up. But you see right here, you can sell, close the trade, buy, close the trade, sell. Well, kind of. But here's the thing. Okay, yes, you place a trade here. Now you're in drawdown because the price trade never closed. But you could place a trade on a 30-minute chart and close it on the 15-minute chart. Then you get a lot more arrows. So what's happening here is we're in a real tight range of market. Even though there's a slight uptrend, we're in a real tight range of market. So when you get this tight, you need to keep it on a 15-minute chart. Okay, and buy and sell using a 15-minute chart. Okay. Yes. So this week, keep your charts on a 15-minute time frame and buy and sell both. Right now, it shows to sell. I would wait. Since this is a US dollar, I would wait until at least the New York session on Monday before placing any trades. Okay, that's just playing it safe because we don't know what the US dollar is going to do. All right, I never like to place any trades at the very beginning of the week on Monday because the market is very sluggish, very slow coming out of the weekend when I was asleep, and it's kind of unpredictable. You don't have enough data to really determine what's going to happen. So if you give it to at least a New York session, you have enough data already established throughout the day that you can kind of predict what's going to happen. Moving on to US dollar versus Canadian dollar. Here we see the price definitely dropped, meaning the Canadian dollar is much stronger this past week. Is it getting ready to make a comeback? Is the US dollar going to be going back up this week? Well, if you look at the 4-hour chart, it shows the buy. Not so good because it's very fresh and it's just now starting to go up. Should be going up, cannot guarantee. Daily chart shows the buy and weekly chart shows the buy. Now, even though all this has been said, I'm going to tell you something. This weekly chart showing the buy. This indicator has repainted. I know, because before this indicator was listed here. How many weeks ago? That was a month and a half ago. Okay, I showed this in a previous video. That the blue arrow was here. Now that blue arrow jumped to here. So we see that yes, no indicator in this world is perfect. Okay, so what is doing is, yes, it's marking the strongest levels of support or resistance, but if that level breaks, the indicator is going to be forced to repaint. Okay, and nobody in this earth can predict what's going to happen with the Forex market. Only insiders, Illuminati or the big banks have that kind of information. Okay, they're the ones that control and manipulate. Okay, the federal government and the banks, primarily all the big banks. Okay, JP Morgan and such, control the movement of the market. So, but people like you and I, we don't have that kind of information. All right, it's very top secret. So anyhow, I think we are at a final low here. Okay, if you look at the monthly, it still shows to sell. Okay, that's kind of the only thing that bothers me. But yeah, you had a red arrow here followed by another red arrow followed by what, another blue arrow. I don't know. Interesting, right? If we zoom out a little bit, look, that would have been a nice big drop there, but I don't know. We have a strong support here on the monthly chart. This is monthly, but it could and very likely will form a blue arrow there, but I don't know. You're talking about a year or two down the road when you're going to see any type of such action. I'm not worried about what's going to happen a year or two down the road. I'm what's going to happen here in the next few weeks. So maybe the next few months. But you know, right now the daily chart shows the buy. Everything shows the buy. So what do we do? Okay, I think it's pretty simple. I think that we're going to be seeing a lot of range of markets this week. So I feel that it'd be safe to keep your charts on a 15-minute or even 30-minute time frame. Look at the 15-minute chart. Right now we have, at this very present point in time, we have the movements is really small and tight. Okay, we're not having huge movements. So you can easily buy and sell using a 15-minute time frame. Okay, and you're only going to get small movements. Okay, not huge movements. 400 pips there, 500 pips there. So that's okay. Okay, like I said, it's not huge, but it's decent. You look from here, if you sold on this red arrow and closed there, just example, you have almost 1,500 pips. So you could probably get 1,000 pips on one single movement. Okay, close here and open a trade somewhere in here, you know, and close it when you get the next blue arrow down here, and you have a nice profit. Okay, right now looks like a time to buy. 4-hour chart shows the buy, 1-hour chart shows the buy. So yes, I would be definitely buying this week. Okay, keep your charts on a 30-minute time frame or 15-minute time frame, and look for buy opportunities only. Okay, because it's going to be going back up. Okay, I would say it'd be safe to both buy and sell, because we're probably going to see more range of market with a slight increase. Okay, but considering that it is getting ready to reverse and go back up again in the long term, okay, I would say buy only using a 15-minute chart. Okay, it's going to be real small tight movements. Keep your charts on a 15-minute time frame and both buy and sell. Okay, I hope that makes any sense. All right, so I'm going to wrap it up. That concludes my weekly trade predictions. If you have any questions at all about this or any of my other predictions, please feel free to hit me up on Facebook. If you need me to analyze any other currency pair, there's a link below in the description of this video for my personal Facebook. Okay, please contact me there first and just let me know so we can discuss that one. Okay, so also there is a link for my private Facebook group, and you can post any questions or comments in my Facebook group. Okay, so with that said, I hope you have a wonderful week ahead trading. I look forward to helping you. Thank you so much.